If you want more long-lasting energy, boundless energy all day long, more energy than China has rice, and you want to keep that energy into your 80s and 90s and beyond, well, then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Dr. Krystosik, and right now I'd like to ask you a question. Why in the world is a 3-year-old racing around, bouncing off the walls with endless energy, while a 93-year-old usually sits motionless in a chair? Well, the answer comes down to the health of your mitochondria. Now, you may remember the mitochondria from your 8th grade science class. Well, maybe not. But, anyways, think of your cell phone right now. Think of the battery in your cell phone. When it's charged and showing green, you can text, watch videos, play games, and use it all day long. When the battery runs down into the red, well, you start to panic. That's exactly what happens inside your body as you age. Your batteries inside your body are your mitochondria, and they're running out of juice if you run out of energy. Now, mitochondria are the tiny power plants inside of every one of your 30 trillion cells inside the body. Now, their main job is to turn the oxygen you breathe and the food you eat into energy, the fuel that powers everything, your muscles, your brain, your immune system, and your heart, even while it's beating and while you're sleeping. Now, here's the big takeaway. When your mitochondria are healthy, your cells, tissues, and organs are full of energy and you're on top of your game at any age, whether you're 3 or 93. But when they're damaged, every system of your body suffers. And that's why fatigue, brain fog, and poor recovery from exercise and accelerated aging, they all trace back to the weak and dying mitochondria. Now, let's move upstream and talk about how to fix and support the mitochondria with one of the biggest factors to keep the mitochondria healthy, and that's your gut microbiome, the bacteria living inside your gut. You've heard me talk about that a lot, but inside your digestive tract lives trillions of bacteria. When these bacteria are balanced and healthy, they produce powerful compounds like short-chain fatty acids that are called butyrate and acetate and propionate and other ones. And these compounds fuel your mitochondria. They protect them from getting damaged or dying. And most importantly, they lower inflammation. It's a major cause of chronic disease and aging. But when the gut is out of balance due to poor diet, it's loaded with sugar, and you get little or no exercise, and you're stressed all day long, you've got toxins, and you take excessive amounts of pills, antibiotics that are often unnecessary, or other medications like anti-inflammatory drugs called non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen. Well, the bad bacteria, that's when they begin to take over. See, all these things, they damage the lining of the gut, and they start spilling toxins into your bloodstream. And that sets off chronic inflammation and chronic disease. Well, here's why that matters. You see, inflammation is like pouring gasoline onto a fire. It damages your mitochondria, and in turn, a weakened mitochondria leak out bits of their DNA into the blood, which triggers even more inflammation. And that becomes a vicious cycle. Gut imbalances cause inflammation and damage the mitochondria, and of course, you get more inflammation. Scientists call this cycle inflammaging, inflammation that literally accelerates the aging process. Then there are what scientists call zombie cells. These are old, damaged cells that refuse to die and add to the problem because they release toxic signals that trigger inflammation and damage the mitochondria even more. And over time, this leads to fatigue, brain fog, muscle weakness, dementia, heart disease, cancer, autoimmune diseases, and all of the chronic diseases that are rampant here in the United States and around the world. But here's the good news. Just as the bad habits damage the mitochondria, the right habits can heal them. Like if you exercise on a regular basis, that actually creates new mitochondria, a process that scientists call mitochondrial biogenesis. Now, nutrients, that's another big thing. Getting a healthy, good, wholesome, whole food diet that provide things like resveratrol. That's a compound found in grapes and berries that support the process of the biogenesis in a big way. And then whole foods that are rich in fiber like fruits and veggies and beans and legumes and whole grains, they all feed the gut bacteria And in turn, the bacteria protect the mitochondria. And then, of course, fermented foods, which is one of the best foods to help the healthy bacteria grow and to provide healthy bacteria, they bring in the probiotics that calm inflammation. Now, on the flip side, things like poor sleep, not getting enough sleep, lack of exercise, poor diet, and toxins in the food and the air and the water, like pesticides and fluoride and heavy metals and chronic stress, all harm your mitochondria. And then, of course, infections, that also harms the mitochondria as well. And that's why I say that diet and exercise are the best mitochondrial drugs that we have. And here's something very important to remember. Your nerve cells, your muscle cells, and your immune system cells, they contain the most number of mitochondria. And that means that the health of your mitochondria will determine how sharp your brain is, how strong your muscles stay, and how strong and resilient your immune system is going to be as you age. So here's the bottom line. Doctors spend most of their time looking downstream at disease and treating disease like heart disease with medications, and treating autoimmune diseases with medications, and cancers and Alzheimer's with medication. But the real root cause lies upstream in getting good nutrition and getting to the root cause and decreasing the levels of inflammation in your body. And very importantly, keeping the health of your gut microbiome, the bacteria inside of your gut at top levels all the time. All these things determine the health of your mitochondria. And when you protect your gut bacteria, you protect the mitochondria. Remember that. And when you protect the mitochondria, you're going to fuel every cell, tissue, and organ in your body. And that means more energy, less disease, and a longer, healthier life. So you can stay independently healthy into your 80s, 90s, into 100 and beyond. So, folks, I'm Dr. Krystosik, and I want to thank you for joining me today. And if you found this video helpful, then hit the like button below and subscribe to my channel and take advantage of our health support community, the Gut 911 prescription community that has people in it just like you. Now, for the first 100 people who join the community, you're going to get lifetime access to all my free resources, the books, the courses, and everything else that's in that Gut 911 community, especially the support of like-minded people like yourself. So if you want to recharge your body's battery, remember your gut fuels your mitochondria, and your mitochondria fuel your life. Until next time, ciao for now.